Hi and welcome. In this quick tutorial, I'm going to show you how to get quickly up and running and inviting clients to your dedicated Rudder Fi client portal and how to customize the onboarding flow so you can collect the data and the questions that you need to best service your client. So you're always going to land in your coaching dashboard. This is where your command center, where you're going to have all of your client information. And when you are ready to invite clients, after you've geared up and you have a good sense of the platform, you're going to click the Invite Client tab on the left-hand side in the menu bar. Here, you'll see at the top, it says Invite Client and Onboarding. The first section I want to draw your attention to is this onboarding client intake questions. Here you can ask a wide range of different questions, really whatever is best suited for you and your coaching practice, whatever is important for you to know to best service your client. You'll be able to find a list of different questions. Majority of these questions are open text, so they have the ability to write a very long form answer if they'd like. Some of these questions are already range formatted or multiple choice. So if it seems like an open-ended question, chances are that it is an open-ended question that will be presented to them in that format. Now, I do recommend when you are looking through the different questions to be mindful of the onboarding process for your client and not wanting to inundate them with a ton of questions right up top. But I would say focus on your most important questions, the core things that you really need to know to always have a reference for your client from here on out. So I would consider, making sure that you have those questions, some demographics, and then working on maybe perhaps money mindset if that's something that's very important to you. And it's also important to note here that out of the box, Rudder Fi already asks certain questions. So we do collect what the user what is the client's main goal. There's 3 options for that. They can either be focusing on getting out of debt, saving or investing more, or there's an other option. We also collect how frequently they get paid and what their average monthly take-home pay is. These are required for us to be able to create an automated budget very quickly for them, and this is something that you'll be able to tweak later on. So just being mindful of how many questions that you ask up front, because you don't want this to be a very long onboarding process for your client. You want to get them up and running as quickly as possible. But here's where you will be in control of the questions that you ask. And if you don't see a question that's very, very important for you that you collect right up front, please message support at rudderfi.com and we'll be able to add that question for you to the portal. Next up, after you've set up your questions and you feel good about what you're asking up front, you are going to want to make sure that you have the first name and last name of the client, the email address, and this is a pre-filled email that will get sent out when you're ready to send it. You can either schedule it on a certain date to go out, or if you leave the date here, it's always going to reflect current date and time. It'll get sent automatically to the client. Now, this client will receive an email that says, hey, you're being invited to this coaching portal. Here's your information in order to access the portal. And they will be given a temporary password that they will need to either click on the link provided in the email, or there's a button also in the email that they'll be able to click on that will redirect them to your Rudder Fi dedicated client portal instance, where they will be prompted to type in that temporary password and reset their password, and then they will be put into the onboarding flow. Now, with that said, if for whatever reason there is any issues, there is support available for you to be able to assist the client. You can also reset their password from the dashboard, but this will be a very important step for them to follow. Make sure they check their junk and spam emails to ensure that they've received the portal. Now, once this is sent automatically, or when it's scheduled and it's sent on the scheduled date, that client will appear in your client portal. Essentially, an account has already been created and started for them. They just have to complete the process, which is the onboarding questions and the flow in Rudder Fi. Once they also you're able to share the link with them and a login link if you do not want to send an email. And then the last option here is you can send another email. It's up to you without being pre-filled, and you'll have to provide a little more guidance and instructions on what they should do. But this is another way that you can invite the client to the platform. And that is how you tailor your onboarding. So these are the intake questions that you'll have. You're able to send them out an email immediately and or share a link with them to your dedicated client portal where they can sign up. And then once that client is signed up and you'll see them populate in your client dashboard, you're able to click on that information and see their client intake questions here. You'll see all that information populated, and this is a great way to start having conversations with your clients based on the answers that they provided, and also a meaningful way to have something to reference so you can see the progression and at least change over time from where they started with you when they first answered these questions, and then maybe perhaps 6 months from now where they land. So you have something memorialized in one spot for you to constantly reference. And then when you go to have your first client call, you can also pull this up and quickly scan through this if needed. I hope that was helpful.